It's Thursday, August 30th, 2011. I'm Rim, and this is Geeknights. Tonight, I guess we talk about supermarkets.
Let's do this.
I don't think we said anything on the last show just because it wasn't really germane, but the gays can marry in New York.
All right.
Hooray.
Hooray.
I actually stayed up to we're like, oh, we'll stay up and wait to see if they vote. Like, we'll be right. Like, well, no. But really,
you're watching.
Really, we were just watching a movie.
New York C-SPAN.
We were just watching a movie, and it was kind of funny. Like, we're sitting there watching Billy Elliot. Have you ever seen that movie?
It's a Broadway show.
It's also a movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the movie's really good. It's on Netflix streaming. You should just watch it.
I know what it's about.
Yeah, so it's about, for those of you who don't know, a young boy in a poor, northern British mining town during all the troubles and the strikes and everything, and very kind of, blue-collar, working-class people.
And his dad wants him to do boxing, but he wants to do ballet.
So he sneaks away from boxing lessons and gets ballet lessons, and he's super good at it.
Yep.
And that causes havoc.
Yeah, but I don't think he's not gay though. He just likes ballet.
He just really likes ballet.
Like figure skaters.
So we're watching the movie, and he has a friend who is gay, and one thing leads to another, and the movie's like at its climax. We're like the super happy, like everything is great, music is playing, and just as that music starts, we all get text messages from people that are like, "Gay marriage just passed."
Yeah.
So we're standing there like turning on the news to see what's going on while the "Hurrah We Won" music is playing from Billy Elliot. It was pretty funny.
All right.
And then and then I saw someone on Fark said they just turned on pink lights on the Empire State Building, and I was like, bullshit. So I went up on the roof like, oh, maybe, and then there was foggy, so I couldn't see. So, and then I was like, wait a minute, if it's foggy, then how would they see?
No, actually, they had rainbow lights. The rainbow lights were left over from something they did previously for something else. Yeah, but they left them on the next day too.
If you got them, smoke them or light them.
I'm pretty sure that by now the Empire State Building has every possible conceivable light color configuration of red, orange, yellow.
I do very
green,
much
blue,
enjoy whenever
purple,
I see it's
white,
lit up in colors and I don't recognize what the deal is. I always like to look up and see like, oh, it's because of whatever, because there's always something weird.
The problem is I went to the website and once, and I just went down the entire list because they have it scheduled in advance except for special events.
I've done that, but I've forgotten some of the things that they'll do it for, and then I remember when I see the colors, like, all right, it's green because of St. Patrick's Day or whatever.
Yeah. I like it when it's sports teams winning, except as long as it's not Yankees or Jets.
Yankees aren't that bad.
They're basically the evil team.
You ever seen Damn Yankees?
You ever seen Shaolin Soccer? you know the evil team that's full of steroids? That's the Yankees.
I point out that when we went to RIT, we were the evil team. We rooted for the evil team.
I didn't root for the evil team. Nor was I on the evil team.
RIT Hockey was the evil team.
No, it was not.
Scott, we were in the corner crew. We were basically the stooges of the evil team.
Hey, when you in Mighty Ducks, right? No one's cheering for the evil team.
I was cheering for the evil team.
What the fuck?
Because they win.
But I mean, no one in the movie was cheering for the evil team.
Except the evil team.
Right.
Of course, there was no cheering allowed in that evil team.
But I'm just saying, it's like evil teams don't have fans.
So Yankees have fans.
Those aren't fans. They're not even human.
I don't know. I always think of that one South Park where the Detroit Red Wings play against those kindergartners.
Yeah.
I was rooting for the Red Wings in that game.
You're alone in that one.
So it's Thursday. It's the lounge. We can talk about whatever we want.
You and your lounge.
So, Scott, of all the things in the world, any topic you could possibly use this fairly public, surprisingly, I don't know why, popular forum. You have thousands of people listening to your every word right now. What is the one thing you want to talk about, knowing that you can talk about any goddamn thing in the world?
Oh, I can talk about anything?
You can.
Oh, I'm going to talk about my...
Yeah, you can talk about your dick.
No. You said it, not me.
What were you going to say?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
So what are you going to say then? You got something?
Yeah, barely.
Barely. I got two things, so we'll daddy two.
So you're the one talking about dicks here, not me. It's on the record of audio recording.
I said the word daddy and a number, and somehow you construe dicks.
Well, the joke is daddy to pee-pee, which is it's the next word. So
you can tell we're punchy today for whatever reason.
Whatever. So there's not much going on. At least, I do have stuff, but it's mostly you got to save it for the other days. This Google technology stuff. This gaming stuff.
I got a lot to say about Google Plus, but it's not the time for that.
This anime stuff. I can't say anything about it because I haven't used it.
I've looked at it.
Okay, sure. So, I got to save that for the other days. So, but what's there to talk about today? Yeah, not much. But I did notice, it's a strange coincidence, there seem to be a lot of sales at the same time.
Huh. Well, Threadless and...
I think it's related to the 4th of July. Like, they know that people are home on their computers, so all the digital stores are having big discounts, right? There's a big Steam sale. There's a big Threadless sale. I'm sure there's big sales somewhere else.
Just had a sale because I've never bought anything on Threadless unless they were doing their $10 sale or Ananth was buying me as many shirts as I wanted for free.
Yeah. But the point is if you want to buy T-shirts and or video games, now's the time.
Yeah.
The biggest thing on Steam, I looked through, there's nothing I really wanted, but there's a Square Enix IDOS pack at $75 for like...
That is the best deal ever if that's your thing.
It's like, I didn't want any of those games really, but if you wanted those games...
Not even those, if you want...
You're saving like basically getting over $300 worth of games for nothing.
I put it this way, if you want more than one game that's in that pack, you might as well just buy the pack.
Well, no, because you're still paying $75.
Yeah, but if you want even one game in the pack, that means that you probably like the kinds of games they make.
Yeah, here,
you're probably going to play some of those games.
Let's look what's in this $75 pack. Hold on, let's see. So
man, there was a time when I paid $70 for Zelda 2.
Okay, so there's that Batman game, which a lot of people like.
I already own that. So.
All right, so this Deus Ex, which I already got both of those a long time ago for like $5.
Yeah, surprisingly, that's kind of a forgotten game.
No, it's not. Not even close.
Oh, no, not forgotten. Let me put it this way. It is a game that many people who would never have heard of it.
No, everyone knows about it.
Nah, you'd be surprised.
No, anyway, Battle Stations, I don't even know what that is. Conflict, Flora's Fruit Farm. Okay, there's a Front Mission Evolved with a ton of pretty much every expansion. So that's an okay game. Gyromancer, I don't even know what that is. Hitman and Hitman 2, I played the demo of one of those. Whatever. Oh, there's 3 Hitmans. Infernal.
Wouldn't it be Hitmen?
I guess. Just Cause 2, and a whole bunch of DLCs for Just Cause 2. Kane and Lynch 2 and a whole bunch of DLCs for that, and Kane and Lynch 1, and a bunch of Tomb Raider.
So the moral here...
And a bunch of even more Supreme Commander and Thief and...
Oh, right, Supreme Commander, the game that was supposed to be the greatest RTS ever and promptly disappeared.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a ton of games that are a lot of monies. But you're only paying $75.
Yeah, I'll wait, because you know what? 2 years from now, I'll buy a pack that has that and more for like $10.
I know, right? But
the gaming industry
I don't even want any of these games. Like, even if I bought them, when would I play them?
This is something that's been happening a lot to me. Like, it wasn't that long ago. I was on Amazon. I was just looking I wanted to buy, like, whenever you finish an Amazon order, you sit there like, is there anything else I need?
Yep.
Anything.
Yep.
So I looked at anime and I sorted by price. And Gankutsuo, which is a fantastic like B+ show, it would have been an A- if the ending wasn't stupid, was like $18 for the whole box set.
It's a good deal.
And I added it to my cart, and then I thought, and I was like, $18.
Well, it's not so much the $18, it's that I'm never going to watch this.
I would possibly watch it one more time at some point in the future, and more importantly, I only buy DVDs if I'm lending them to people, and that's a show I could lend to people. There are people I could think of who I'd be like, hey, you should watch this.
Yep.
Here you go. But then I imagined $18, and I realized that's like one steak dinner, and I didn't buy it.
You know what? I did buy on Amazon for a lot more than $18.
It's a crappy steak dinner, but it's a steak dinner.
Finally, we've been waiting, right? Discotek licensed both these movies, and they're finally released. Galaxy Express 3.9 movie and Adieu Galaxy
Jesus
Express 3.9 movie.
When we get this, we're going to watch them and do some shows on that.
Yep. So I ordered both DVDs, even though they were like $15 each.
Because I realized we never did a show on 3.9, did we?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
In the very least, I want to do a show just on the 3.9 movie.
Yeah.
Independent of the show, independent of any other Leiji Matsumoto-ness.
We'll do plenty of Matsumoto-ness in the future.
Yeah. Of course, I'm rocking through Fist of the North Star. I hit this point where I was like, because you know when you watch a show that sometimes you watch a show, any show, or any media that you're consuming, even games, you get to a point where you almost feel like it's a chore. Especially
no, not really. Only if it sucks.
Yeah, or things.
If it's good, I have a strong desire. That's pretty much how I can tell if something I like or not is if I have a strong desire to keep going.
Yep. Well, I realized this. Like, what was I was watching some show. I think Kaze no Yojimbo. I was like, I'm gonna watch the show because it was pretty good, and then we'll do a show on it. I'll get Scott to watch it. And after like 6 episodes, I didn't really care about the 7th episode. And then not that long after, I watched I think it was Ava again, and I just remember watching one episode and be like, oh right, and I watched the whole show in a couple days.
Like you can't help yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been watching Odoru Daiso Sasen.
That's a short show too.
It's 11 episodes, but they're long. They're like movies.
I've only seen 2 movies and the first episode because Katsu showed it to me way back in
I've
RIT.
seen now 11 episodes and the 2 movies, but there's a 3rd movie and there's 2 or 3 TV specials and some side spin-off specials, one of which is a Muroi special.
Once I see
the
them
best
all,
character.
I have a strong suspicion that the first movie is the best of all of it.
The TV show's pretty good.
It is, but that movie
yeah,
is too concentratedly awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Remember that scene at the end where he's on the roof and the music's playing
and
then
the smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And there's a DS game which I just got, which you can't read.
Yeah, Scott hands me his DS. He's like, check this out. I'm like, what is it? He won't even tell me anything. He's like, just wait. And then I hear, man.
All
right.
But yeah, I'm just saying that's an example of something where I watched one and I can't help but watch the next one.
Yeah. So Fist of the North Star, I was like that, and then it petered out in the middle of the very first story arc. Because I was doing other stuff, and I can't watch it while I'm doing something else. And
really, for me, it petered. The only time I was slow was after the first story arc ended and the second one began, and everything went back to the base level. I was sort of like, oh.
No, so see what got me.
But then it built up again and didn't.
I had this weird peter out, and then he got close to King-sama.
Yeah.
It was all right, he's actually going to go get that bastard. And then I just watched every episode. And then the next arc, I was about to peter out. And then South Star Swallow Fist came, and I was like,
Fuck
oh yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is that beginning of the second arc is a little bit slow, but as soon as Ray shows up, you're like,
yep.
Bam! And then the whole show from then on, there is no slowing down.
Because you know how Kenshiro has that noise
except for
that
recap
happens.
episodes that you skip.
There's the noise that happens when a guy's about to explode. I like how every power, different style, has a different sound before a guy explodes or falls apart or whatever. That weird background, Anyway, it's not Wednesday. That's enough anime, but stuff's on sale.
Yeah. It's time to empty your wallets, people. The economy's not doing too good.
Yeah.
We got we have 2 shut down professional sports leagues, possibly a shut down government. Everything's shutting down.
Yeah, luckily.
So we don't want the thing is we'll be okay.
Hockey's not shutting down.
That's right, but we'll be okay as long as Steam doesn't shut down. So buy games.
Oh my god.
As long as Steam doesn't shut down, we'll be all right.
If Steam shut down,
we can pull through.
I'd
with
be
the
almost
games.
okay because I just got Galaga.
Yeah.
And I have not played it out yet.
Xbox Live can't shut down either. So buy Xbox games like Galaga Legions DX, which just came out. If you don't buy it, you're a fool.
So I'm going to talk about an aspect of this problem that we haven't talked about because we've already said a lot of the things that many of you will expect us to say on this issue. So Scott, don't interrupt me with, but we've already talked about this because I'm going to skip all that bullshit.
All right.
There's an article here, and there's a lot of follow-up articles about the fact that there's a skills gap in America where...
Gee, we've never discussed this before.
Where unemployment is very high, yet simultaneously, many places that are desperate to hire people are unable to find anyone qualified.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a gaming skills gap.
Oh, yeah. Before the show, I was like, I'm going to talk about the skills gap. And Scott was like, what the fuck? We've talked about that a million times.
We've talked about the gaming skills gap every episode.
I'm talking about the skills gap in the real world.
Oh, you think it's related to the gaming skills gap? Anyway?
No, I don't think so. So
I'm sure there are some fundamental principles that apply to both.
So here's the deal. We already know that there's this problem of huge unemployment, and we know that we have this problem where there's a very large unskilled workforce in the U.S. And it's a big problem.
Well, I wouldn't say it's unskilled. I would just say I would say this: some portion is some portion is low, and some portion is maybe skilled, but in areas that are not valuable.
No, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
So according to this article and a couple other articles I found,
Are these articles backed by studies, or are these just editorials?
it's anecdotes from people trying to hire, and then demographic information, and it's like a hodgepodge of research from places.
So
but
it's an article.
it's an angle I hadn't thought of before.
All right.
So the deal is that, and I've had this. I mean, my company, we were trying to hire people forever, and
It's hard to hire people.
everyone we interviewed was like, it's like, why'd you even come in? Like, I'd look at their resume, I'd pick any word on it and be like, so tell me about this. And they'd just like be a deer in headlights.
Yeah, I don't understand the lying on resumes. That's a different issue entirely.
Well,
But I mean, in general, it is really hard. At least, I don't
I
really
would
know about
understand
tech.
if someone who, say, used a ticketing system put that on their resume, like familiarity with. But if I ask them about it and they can't tell me anything,
Yeah.
anything at all,
Well, I mean, there are people who literally apply to programming jobs who can't write FizzBuzz, which is a very simple program, which any CS major who went through CS1 should be able to trivially write FizzBuzz.
I've never heard of FizzBuzz.
FizzBuzz is pretty simple. All you do is loop through numbers, X through Y, and every single number, you print out the number, then you print a space. Well, you print a space.
Okay,
if,
so far this is one line in Perl.
right, if the number is evenly divisible by 3,
Still one line.
you print out the word fizz.
Still one line.
And if it's divisible by 5, you print out the word buzz. And if it's divisible by 3 and 5, you print out fizz buzz.
Still one line.
So this program basically forces you to do A, iteration, B, modulus math, C, string formatting on output.
flow control.
There's a little
Not
bit,
depending on how
not
you write it.
really, but I mean that's basically the 3 things you have to know in order to write this program. It's a trivial program
Well, let
to
me put
write.
it this way: it could be flow control in that you could write this in BASIC with a loop that has if in it if
Yeah.
you really wanted to.
It's mostly about getting the string formatting exactly right with your print statements.
Yeah. Really? People couldn't.
There are people who apply for programming jobs who cannot write that program.
You know.
I don't. The lying, but let's skip past the lying and resumes.
Okay,
Go to
so-
the skill gap.
Okay, so the skill gap. So people who need highly skilled workers cannot find them.
That's why highly skilled workers are demanding even more and more money despite a shitty economy.
Simultaneously, there is this huge proportion of the economy that needs low skill work.
Yep.
Now, as in people who aren't experts at any particular thing, but they need people who can write an email with reasonable grammar and spelling, keep track of a small number of simple tasks, maybe handle a calendar, do trivial clerical work, and many people are not qualified to do this work either.
Really?
So the problem is that we have the majority of the jobs that people are trying to hire right now, if you forget the super high-skilled high-end, are moderate to low-skilled jobs, yet the majority of our education system does not prepare people for that. It prepares people who have money for the high-end, and it prepares people who don't have money for nothing. It prepares them for no-skill jobs, which aren't in demand anymore. So we've got the situation where there are people who literally have no marketable skills.
Yep.
Other than they're a warm body. And there aren't enough jobs for those people. Yet simultaneously...
The thing is, if I needed a job that wasn't the high-skilled job, right? If I need the calendar task managing guy and I can't find anyone who can already do it, I'll just interview people to find someone who's nice.
and then just train them?
And train them.
So here's what's really going on. First, companies are unwilling to train people anymore.
Well, the government could solve that if they had some sort of tax incentive for training. Like all your money you spend on training is tax exempt or something like that.
Yeah. Two, people who are in school are basically told by everyone at every turn that if you don't get a degree from a university, you are fucked.
They're lying.
Yes, they're lying. But as a result, there aren't people going into vocational programs, and a lot of federal and state money that used to prop those programs up has been disappearing quietly for a long time.
You know what? Plumbers make mad money. They make a lot more money than guy who, manages a calendar.
Simultaneously, a lot of people, because they're told they have to get a degree, get huge student loans and get degrees.
And can't pay them off.
They get degrees in highly skilled arenas that are not in demand. So on the job market, they're qualified for jobs that don't exist.
Yep.
And they are qualified for these middle and low-skilled jobs.
Well, people go to college. I don't know what I want to do. I'll get a liberal arts degree. You might as well have gotten no degree.
But these people are very qualified to do a lot of these middle and low-skilled jobs that are in actually very high demand. People are having a lot of trouble hiring people for these positions. But because those people have crippling student loan debt, they can't afford to work the low-skilled job because it doesn't pay enough. But if they'd gone to a school...
But the thing is, I don't understand, right? So let's say I spent a lot and I went to a fancy school. and I got a history degree.
Yep.
And I'm not going to be a history professor, and I'm not going to be a history teacher, and I got a big-ass loan. I need a job that can pay off this big-ass loan.
All right, so you've already made the mistake of getting a big-ass loan
I've
for a
already
job that
made
isn't
the
in
mistake.
demand.
I can't undo it, right? I could go and get that job as an office clerk, right? Which I'm qualified for.
I think a lot of people, for stupid reasons like pride, don't do that, which is when it's probably the smartest move.
That job would not be enough to pay off the student loan, but it's still more than zero. Right? It's either that job, which isn't enough, or nothing. It's like, why would I choose the nothing? I can't get, I tried, I would continue to try, even while working that subpar job, to get a better job.
Well,
to see if something opens up. But if I can't get one, it's better to work at Starbucks, Scott, and make something.
Even if all those people did that, they are a tiny portion of the real economy. And that there's this huge, just massive people who don't have any marketable skills. No one is willing to train them or give them these skills. The schooling system doesn't give them these skills.
That's for sure.
And there's really almost no recourse for them.
Right.
And yet simultaneously, on the high skill end, no company can hire for crap. I get job offers on a daily basis because people are desperate for anyone who knows IT.
Yep.
And yet I know IT people who can't get jobs.
This is why the next chance I get, I'm going to negotiate, which I've never done before.
Because
I'm too nice.
I'm also in the process of some of that I probably won't talk about just yet.
Yeah.
So very briefly.
Basically, a lesson, if you don't have skills, get some. Don't, take whatever job you can get, even if you have to work at a Home Depot or some shit temporarily. You get more than $0. Do it. I would do it. And see if you have skills, you can negotiate for more money.
Yep. But if you're a young adult who is not yet decided if you're going to go to college, if you do some research, if you're not going to get a degree that will pay for your student loans, you are better off.
Or if your parents are rich.
Yeah. You're better off not going to college, getting a job in one of these middle skill areas while simultaneously fostering an expertise somewhere else. Here's a good example. Become a clerk at a hospital or a bank, because then you start accruing years of, quote, experience in the medical field or the financial field. There's a huge demand for people who have basic skills, reading, writing, simple math, being an intelligent person, and simultaneously who have some experience with a very specialized industry, even if they don't have a degree related to said industry.
Listen to the TED Talk with Mike Rowe and basically forget about, what everyone's told you that you should, be what you want to be. You can't be what you want to be. You'll probably end up poor and starving.
Hey, I wanted to be a rich IT guy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, go listen to that TED Talk. I'm sure it was the thing of the day once. Go get a job. It'll probably be something you never thought you would do, but you can make a lot of money at it. You probably didn't grow up wanting to be a carpet installer, but you know what? Carpet installers can make tons of money. You might not thought you would grow up to be a pig farmer, but you know what? You can make zillions being a pig farmer.
The quote from one of the articles that I read, I think I'll link to this one because the quote's in it. Quote, "We have held on too long to these low-wage, low-skill industries, and we didn't make a strategic long-term investment in education." And he goes on and basically
it doesn't help that a lot of the no-skill jobs are outsourced to other countries.
Yeah, but he's saying that America has a huge demand for middle-skill jobs, yet we don't prepare anyone for those jobs. So there's a dichotomy between super qualified people and people with effectively, in terms of real-world marketable skills, zero marketable skills. They don't exist as far as recruiters are concerned because they literally have nothing to offer and no one's willing to train anyone.
Yep.
It sucks. So on a lighter note, California told Amazon to fuck off.
Well, Amazon told California to fuck off.
Well, California basically played a bluff game where they said, we're going to change the laws to make sure that you have to pay sales tax.
A lot of states have played this game, and Amazon has so far won every time. So I don't know why California thought it was going to be any different.
Well, partly California, as we were talking about before the show, while Amazon did technically have a business presence there, it was small enough to where they can say, you know what, fuck it. We're done.
The only business presence they had was affiliates, which they have in every state except for states that piss Amazon off by trying to charge sales tax.
I read somewhere that they had one small office in California too. But
whatever. But
doesn't matter.
Basically, for those of you who don't know, Amazon Affiliates is a system where if you link to Amazon, let's say I link to the book club book on our website.
We need to do that more, by the way.
If you click on that link and then you buy the book after clicking on that link, Amazon gives us some money for basically being freelance salesmen for them. We're selling you books.
Scott, write a script that goes through every link we've ever made to Amazon and turns it into affiliate link.
Right, but that's how Amazon affiliates works. So the way Amazon only charges sales tax in states that require it. If Amazon has a presence in that state. For example, we pay sales tax on Amazon purchases in New York because Amazon has warehouses and distribution centers and other things in the state of New York, right? Amazon did not physically have any of those things in the state of California.
Or, for example, the Geeknights store. If you live in New York State, you have to pay sales taxes that I then remit to the state of New York. Any other state? Meh.
Yeah, but technically, if you live in, say, Missouri, you are supposed to report that on your annual income tax report and pay that to the state. It doesn't happen.
So, to skip all the details of it, here's what I want to talk about. Here's the problem. We need either states have to all get together and make collectively an open, trivial to interface with, universal system whereby all their sales tax laws, whatever they are codified such that anyone who's selling anything online or interstate can trivially do all the taxes automatically without having to research every individual state's bullshit.
That's the federal government's responsibility because it's interstate commerce.
Yes, but they won't because all the states manage their own sales tax, which I think
they
in the modern
shouldn't be able to
world,
charge to people who are out of state because that would be interstate commerce, and I don't think it should be allowed. It's interstate.
Well, the problem is, though,
if the federal government doesn't want to have federal sales tax, then if I buy something from Connecticut, it should be sales tax free.
Yes, or we should have a federal sales tax or federally administered state sales tax. I would be fine with any of those. What I'm not fine with is this current situation where, due to technicalities...
I don't think anyone's fine with the current situation. Not
you
Amazon.
know who is? You know who is?
Who?
You know who really wants this situation to get worse?
No, I'm saying who likes it the way it is.
Brick and mortar stores. They are lobbying hand over fist to keep things the way they are, and to make Amazon be forced to pay even if they don't have business presences.
Well, but I'm saying that's a change they're fighting for. I'm saying who wants to keep it the way it is right this second?
If they can't get their change, they want to keep it the way it is because it at least forces online businesses who fall into these loopholes to have to pay. And that amazes me.
The thing is, it's not like here's the one thing I don't understand.
They seem to think that I'm only going to Amazon because I don't have to pay sales tax, and that somehow,
but I do have to pay sales tax on Amazon.
That somehow, if I had to pay that trivial sales tax, that suddenly I'm going to go to Best Buy.
The only thing I don't understand is how does paying sales tax hurt Amazon, right? Because it's like, let's say Amazon sells something for
Scott,
$1.
here's how it hurts
they just
Amazon.
collect the sales tax from us and then remit it. It doesn't
Scott,
cost them anything.
Yeah, it does. Here's why it hurts. Say they had to deal with every state's sales tax.
Okay.
Let's say they did. Every state's laws are so completely different.
Yeah.
They would have to hire lawyers and do a huge amount of work to constantly make sure they're following all the laws of every state on every transaction. Like some states, like in New York, there's a sales tax on clothing in certain counties.
So there's an administrative cost.
Yes,
but there's
very high.
But it's not like, but the sales tax itself, it doesn't cost them anything.
No, but the administrative costs are so high that I think it is unconscionable to force Amazon or any online retail to deal with it.
But if you're like Walmart, each individual Walmart store just worries about its own law and doesn't have to worry about the other Walmarts.
But if I'm a store in New York, I only have to worry about New York sales tax, and I charge it to everyone because they're in New York.
So how about this? Maybe, right, there could be some sort of system where it's like, do you want your sales tax to be collected? Then you must send your data in by this form. You know? So it's the responsibility of each locale.
But my argument is that in the
modern
world, unless there is an API that does that, unless I, as a business, can automate it and just hook into Arizona and Nevada and Wisconsin system, and that handles all of it with like soap or something, then I shouldn't.
No, if I was Amazon, I would set up a system, and that would be like that would let them enter the data and be like, all right, if you want sales tax collected, come in and type it in.
That would be fine, except Amazon's in a very strong position to say "fuck you."
Well, they should, because I still think it's interstate commerce, and the state shouldn't be allowed to say
Well, the
anything.
question is, if I'm buying something online, is the transaction occurring in the state I am in or in the state the server's
in? If you
in?
buy something from Amazon, Amazon is a company in Seattle.
Yeah.
You are in New York. The money is going from your wallet in New York to a wallet in Washington. Therefore, it is interstate commerce because the money is traversing state boundaries.
Yep.
Regardless of if the item you are buying is in a warehouse in New York, it doesn't matter. The money is going from one state to another. It's interstate commerce. End of story.
I would
in my
sidestep
opinion,
it and really
I am
just
not
say,
I am not a lawyer.
personally,
If you are in Washington State and you buy something from Amazon and the goods are not in Washington State, it is still interstate commerce. The only situation would be if you buy something on Amazon, you're in Washington State, and it comes from a Washington State warehouse. Then it would be in-state commerce.
What if my order is routed through the internet to other states just because the internet is the way it is?
So the servers are not in the state of Washington?
Maybe they are, but the traffic goes through Wisconsin just somehow.
The internet routing traffic?
Yes, because here's a weird example. When the Berlin Wall went up, there was a subway, and they went under the Berlin Wall. So if you rode like one of the West Germany subways, maybe it was the East, I forget which one was which, you would technically enter East Germany for a while because it looped through the territory.
Okay, here's a question. I'm in New York. I order something from a mail order catalog in Detroit. That's clearly interstate commerce.
Yep.
The mail goes through Canada. Is it international commerce?
I don't know.
Not the actual goods. The goods don't go through customs.
Now, here's why I feel that, this is one of those situations where I think the federal government should step in. I think
They
interstate
definitely need
commerce
to.
should be heavily regulated by the feds, and seriously, fuck the states on this.
That's right.
But anyway, things of the day.
Oh,
Thing of the day.
a very old thing of the day that everyone in the world knows. I'm going to bring it back.
If you don't know, don't tell anyone that.
Zombocom.
Welcome to Zombocom.
Where anything is possible.
Zombocom is the most extensible website the world has ever seen. It is the fact that it was made
the
as early as it
unattainable
is
attainable.
Like, it was made
At
so long
Zombocom.
ago, and yet it does more than any single website, Web 2.0, whatever, I've ever
So
seen.
much is possible that Zombocom could even be converted from Flash to HTML5 Zombocom.
Well, the unattainable was attained.
It was attained. HTML5 Zombocom.
Oh, man.
That's it.
So, this is the kind of thing that, like, Morning Zoo would talk about, but this intrigues me. This is one of those things where, were the internet not around, I would never get to find out what the deal is. There's a pool. In this pool, someone drowned.
A swimming pool.
A large public swimming pool, outdoors, with many lifeguards. Someone drowned.
Okay.
No one noticed the body for at least 2 days, if not longer.
Well, was it a deep pool?
Yes.
What was the color of the pool?
Blue.
Oh, okay. So some pools aren't blue. Some of them are like gray cement,
Well, like, it's bluish cement, or it's white cement, and, water is blue.
All right, so this person was at the bottom of the deep pool.
Yes.
What color was their bathing suit?
I don't know.
But they sunk. They didn't float.
They sunk and drowned, and then days later, despite the fact that multiple news agencies had taken pictures of this pool for unrelated stories and no one noticed the body.
Well,
but
if it's in the
pool,
bottom of the pool, it's conceivable that no one would notice it.
Scott, you can see to the bottom of any pool.
I'm just saying that you could, but if you weren't looking for it.
Scott, lifeguards are obligated to look.
I know.
Also, they close the pool at the end of the day. You think someone might look in the pool? Also, pool inspectors, inspected this pool twice while the body was there. Maybe more times.
Right, but I mean, you ever watch that video where it tells you count the number of times the guy bounces the basketball and there's a dancing bear?
Yeah, but Scott,
and you don't see
lifeguard's
the
job is
dancing
to look
bear?
for drowned people.
Lifeguard's job is to look for people currently drowning.
No, also drowned people. You're supposed to look at the bottom of the pool. In fact, if you can't see the bottom of the pool because the pool is cloudy, then you have to get everyone out of the pool immediately. That's like rules in almost every pool.
Well, I'm not an expert in lifeguarding. The point is, I could conceive of looking at a pool, there being someone at the bottom, and not physically seeing them.
But Scott, if you're a lifeguard, that's your only job.
Regardless, what I really don't understand...
There were 3 lifeguards.
What I really don't understand...
Also, a kid saw the person at the bottom of the pool early on.
Did he say anything?
Went to a lifeguard and said, I think someone drowned. Nobody did anything.
Well, that's a problem. But this is what I don't understand. Did the person come to the pool unaccompanied?
Apparently, they went with friends and left, and no one noticed that the person wasn't with them
This is where
anymore.
I understand. Is
And
like,
the friends said after the fact that the person didn't know how to swim, and they didn't know why they went to the pool.
You go to the pool with your friends and you leave without them and you don't wonder what happened to them and you just leave. That's what's really weird.
This is just like and there's more crazy. This is like the craziest.
And how could no one saw the person while they were drowning?
Well, because usually you don't. I think we talked about on the show how.
Oh, right. Drowning people don't look like drowning people.
No, they look like people who are perfectly fine, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
But here's my guess. I'm pretty sure that the inspectors weren't inspecting the pool and were taking bribes to not have to inspect the pool. And now they're fucked.
Well, I mean, pool inspectors, do they actually, don't they usually just check the chemicals and stuff?
And also other things. For example, turbidity. If the pool's too cloudy, they have to shut it down.
Uh-huh.
And they reported everything was fine. Oh, my God. On Fark, there's a picture of the pool from this news article. Someone pasted Waldo's face.
Oh.
That's clever.
Okay.
But this is just a really sad and messed up story, and I really want to know what the deal is. The government stepped right in. They're like, what the fuck is this? They put everybody involved on leave.
Well, yeah.
Every employee of the pool, all the inspectors who inspected the pool, and not only didn't see the body, but didn't see the fact that the pool was cloudy. And it's just like... Also, Scott, there were hundreds of people swimming in this pool every day.
And none of those people noticed.
None of those people. You'd think one kid with goggles would have been like, there's a body down there.
Yeah, so why wasn't there? There must have been something about the body or the bathing suit or something that made it hard to see it, or the cloudiness.
Fark. When minorities drown in pools, it turns out they become transparent.
Oh, it was a minority.
I don't know. I don't even know.
No.
I stopped. Basically, I'd already read enough crazy things that I didn't read the rest of the article.
This story sounds too crazy. I'm waiting for Snopes' report on this one.
It's looking pretty legit, and it's... Yeah.
I'm waiting for the Snopes report to get all the real details. I can't, this is too crazy.
Whoa. So apparently her friends did say she was missing.
Okay.
Investigators began looking for her after park personnel told them they found clothing, a cell phone, and her identification card at the pool when they closed it. But they didn't investigate the pool or the facilities.
Okay.
Yeah. Police were told the woman was missing and was last seen at the pool. They apparently went to the place and didn't notice anything either.
There must have been something that you couldn't see it for some reason because the police would have seen it.
Or there might be something else. Here's the crazy guess.
There's no way there could be a conspiracy of that many people.
Here's a crazy guess. Someone was murdered. They broke into the pool while it was closed and slipped the body in. And then people found it the next day. But the body they drowned the person. So the coroner was like, yeah, they drowned 2 days ago.
The body was found eventually, though, right?
Apparently it was found by kids who broke into the pool to swim after it was closed, days after the body was in the water.
Maybe the pool was just so crowded, no one ever could see the bottom.
I don't know.
Plus the cloudiness.
I don't know. This is just crazy. And
it's too crazy. There has to be something else to it.
I don't know. We'll find out. Fark is following this heavily.
I'm thinking about hitting up the pool pretty soon.
I'm thinking about going to that giant-ass pool in Queens.
That's my pool, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going to that same pool.
I biked near it once.
Yeah,
and
it looks really happening.
It wasn't that crowded, and it was really nice looking.
It was really nice. There's people like barbecuing all around it.
As long as you don't go when there's like a bunch of kids going.
Scott, I was about to say, let's go this weekend, but this is probably the worst possible weekend to go to that pool.
I'm going to go bike around near it pretty soon.
I tell you what, if that
is.
pool is chill this weekend and not super crowded, you, me, Pete, and Nuri, and Emily should go over there, swim, and grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So in the meta moment, the book club book, which we were going to do today.
I did do a thing of the day.
Yeah, you did. Which we were going to do today, but we didn't because I got distracted and did not read Foundation yet. We're going to have the book club book episode soon. It's Isaac Asimov's Foundation. And
what we're going to do is book club, the problem with book club, I think, right now is that it does seem like people are actually reading and some people actually care. A lot, enough people care to make it worth it.
We got enough feedback today.
2 people is enough people to care.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that popular, but we got all this feedback suddenly.
But the thing is, because we only do a Thursday episode every other week, and it's like we don't want book club to be like every other Thursday. That's too much, right? There would be half the Thursday episodes would be book club episodes if we did it monthly.
And also,
so we're going to make book club its own show once a month. So there'll be 12 book clubs a year.
Because the trouble, too, is that if we do the book club, normal Geeknights format, we get all this other news and cruft on the episode.
Yeah, we're going to do book club as its own episode once a month. It's not going to replace a Thursday episode anymore, which means we really need Thursday episode ideas, so send them in.
Also, I'm going to go find all the old book club episodes, pull out the book club portions, and put them in this feed. Separate.
Yep. I'll make it its own section on the website.
So anyway, if you have not yet finished Isaac Asimov's Foundation, it's really short.
You only got a few couple weeks to listen to get
In the
it.
very least,
'Cause
just read
Kineticon-
the Wikipedia that tells you what it's about.
Yeah, because the meta moment, Kineticon is next week.
We are the directors of the panels department,
Gasp.
and we're not doing that many panels. We're doing a few because it's a lot of work to run a fucking panels department, let me tell you what.
Yep. So we'll be there, and then probably the week after that, we'll do the episode on Foundation.
Yep.
And any other metas.
The unofficial book club book is all of R. Scott Backer's Prince of Nothing books. Just read them all because shit's going down with that.
We're out of merch.
We're absolutely out of merch.
You're going to order more merch?
I'm working on that, probably after Kineticon.
All right, but in time for PAX, though.
Hopefully.
West.
In the very least, I'll try to order the same shirt again at PAX.
We need a new shirt.
Yep.
Send in shirt designs, too.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, that is pretty much it. We will be at PAX Prime doing at least one panel, possibly more panel-like things.
Yep. PAX Dev is a maybe. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's it.
All right.
So, Thursday.
This is your idea.
Yeah. The Le Supermarché.
Is that how you say it?
In French.
Okay.
Supermarché.
All right.
I don't know. It's kind of funny that supermarkets
Wangums is the best. Episode's over.
matter to me a lot more now that I don't have access to them the way I once did.
Well, Stu Leonard's is also the best episode
yeah,
ever.
but that's almost like an amusement park.
But it's a different. It's not exact. It's not quite the same, right? It's like if you go to Wegmans, it's like a normal supermarket, but the best. Stu Leonard's is like its own kind of thing, mostly for getting fresh produce, dairy, meats,
I guess it's
vegetables.
something
You don't
that-
really buy the stuff that comes in packages from Stu Leonard's.
It's something that, despite being very regional, is very uniform throughout the entirety of the United States. I mean, it's interesting.
Not necessarily.
Well, generally uniform. You walk into a real big deal non-Walmart supermarket, and there's produce on the right.
Well, I mean, that's just because, supermarket design has become such that they figured out the maximum money makings, right?
Yep.
Is how do we arrange this store to make the most money and also meet the health codes and also, all these requirements.
But like my whole life, I've had this this ritual of going to the supermarket to buy groceries on a regular basis. And it was this kind of steady cornerstone of my mundane life. Up until I moved to New York City, and then everything changed. Like, this is one of those places where everything's totally different.
Well, you have a doorman, so you can order food online.
Yep. Also, I live in a neighborhood where there aren't any supermarkets within a walking distance.
I still go to the supermarket. In fact, they're opening up a supermarket on my block. Once it's ready, I won't have to cross the street.
You've got to
go
admit,
to the supermarket.
New York supermarkets are not really the same as what we're used to.
Well, it's not a gigantic suburban supermarket that has everything in the goddamn universe, but it has enough. I'm just one person. What the fuck do I need?
Well, it's also the fact that now that you go to it more often with less carrying capacity. It's not like remember in Beacon, we'd be like...
But there's also that's good, less food spoilage.
Yeah.
More money saving.
Yeah, like I buy way more expensive food now than I ever bought, but I buy a lot less of it.
Yep.
Even though I'm eating more.
Yep.
But we used to have the ritual, like, it's been a week and a half, we're out of food. We'd record Geeknights, then at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night,
buy a ton of food.
We'd go to the ShopRite and buy as much food as we possibly could.
So you wouldn't have to go back so soon because it's far away.
It'd take a half hour.
Because it's a chore to go there.
To get it out of the car and get it unpacked.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I was always exhausted. I'd get up at 5 a.m. the next morning to catch a train, 4 a.m.
But you had food.
I did have food. And I have all these fond, weird memories.
And the thing is, the only advantage of the bigger supermarket, right, like a Wegmans, isn't that it's any, the reason it's better is not because it just has a more selection, right? And it's I don't necessarily need more selection. It's just the particular things, particular items that I greatly desire. And smaller supermarkets with less selection are less likely to have those particular
They're not
items.
all going to have the Nueva Cochina.
Exactly. You can make a small supermarket, and if I was the purchaser and I chose what would be on the shelves, it would be the best supermarket ever because it's just a few, each person has a few items that are their brands, their items that they need.
Yeah, well, Fresh Direct, they do it figures it out. So every time I log in, it lists here's all the shit you always buy. And I'm yep, one of those, one of those, one of those, one of those.
There's a humongous cereal aisle, right? And you particularly like maybe 3 cereals.
Blueberry.
Right, so if there was a tiny supermarket that only had those 3 cereals, you don't care that all the other cereals are missing. But the fact is, odds are any supermarket is probably going to have one of those cereals. And the giant supermarket might have all 3 amongst the massive cereals, which is why you prefer the bigger supermarket because they're going to have all the things you like just because they have so much selection.
So I learned something very important when we were living in Beacon.
All right.
One day, one day, I skipped work for whatever reason. Like I just didn't go to work. It was like a Tuesday. I thought, I will buy groceries now.
When all the old people are at the grocery
I will
store
get
during
groceries during a weekday.
the day, when all the old ladies are there.
And that was like another world. It was like I was transported to a world of old people.
Yep.
Slow old people with carts blocking every aisle.
Yep.
And it was like this disaster of untold proportions.
Yep.
I ended up leaving and not buying anything.
Yeah, that's a big problem in supermarkets, right? Is that, they need to stock a lot of things, no matter the size of the store. They can't really have big, wide aisles. So the aisles are usually,
Wegmans has nice wide aisles.
they're not, at best, you can fit 2 carts side by side, right?
I've seen 3.
I've never seen 3.
I've seen 3.
Stu
You
Leonard's,
forget
you can
how
have,
great Wegmans is.
Stu Leonard's, you can have
Well,
3.
Stu Leonard's is one
You can
way.
have 4 or 5. Yeah, that's right. Stu Leonard's is a one-way lane. You goes through the store. You do not stop. You do not turn around. You do not make any decisions.
That's what we need. That would fix that problem right quick.
You go from the beginning to the end.
'Cause
You have to go through every section.
My whole life, it's amazed me. Forget the old people. Just any time. You go to the supermarket any hour. And what do, Scott? We walk in. We split up. We go like, get everything we need as fast as possible and get the fuck out.
Yep.
I'll linger in a couple areas. I'll linger in the meat cheese area like, all right, I really like meat. I'll linger in the fresh vegetables area like, oh, I want to buy all of these, but I shouldn't because I can't eat them all. And that's it. Otherwise, I get the fuck out. But everyone else, like most people I ever see, it's like they're walking. They walk into the supermarket with purpose, like I am going to buy X things and get out and get on with my life. And then they like stop at the entrance and they're like dazed.
It's a psychological thing. The same thing casinos do. It's
and then
a
they like
well-studied-
shuffle like up and down every aisle. Like
It's
I'm
a
gonna buy this.
well-studied science of coercion that is affecting you, whether you realize it or not. It's like you think you run in and run out, but you know what? You probably bought something that
Yeah.
you weren't planning on.
Thing is, I run
even
in
if
and
you're
run out.
even if you're consciously forcing yourself not to do it, you end up doing it.
I noticed when I started buying groceries online that there are a lot of things I don't buy anymore.
Yeah, buying online is great.
Yeah. It's
Plus,
like the best thing ever.
best part about buying online is that you never have to buy when you're hungry. Going to the store when you're hungry is the worst.
I did it
Because you
Fresh
end up
Direct.
buying a bunch of shit you're not going to use.
I usually, when I go hungry, I always buy a lot of like chips and salsa.
Yeah.
And Utz. I'll buy a lot of Utz.
Utz, you're not eating Utz.
Spots.
Yep.
I have weird fond memories of being in supermarkets like way late at night.
Yeah, being in supermarkets late night's fun.
Because
I
RIT, that
hate
was
it.
our
I hate
thing.
it when markets aren't 24/7.
Even here, like the food cellar, the only nice supermarket near me, is closed at like 10 o'clock. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Be open all the time. I need food all the time.
Yeah. Not anymore because I got delivery.
At least the bodega's always open.
Yeah, bodega is.
Bodega.
Even though they want like $5 for ice cream, my bodega is expensive.
Bodega guys made a new video. They're actually Boing Boing's hooking up with them.
Oh, we should do
The internet's celebrities.
We should talk to those guys.
Those are the best guys. They're
Get
still,
them on the
they're-
show.
They're still at it.
Ah, those are good guys.
Those are my favorite guys.
But it's something like when I was a kid, when you're too young to go to a bar, there's nothing to do in town, I'd always end up with a bunch of friends every now and then randomly, either at like the playground behind one of the elementary schools.
you can't go to a playground. You'll get in trouble because you're not accompanied by a child. You have to, you
well,
can go
no,
to a
when
park.
I was a kid, when I was a
Yeah.
punk kid.
You can go to a park, but not a playground.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But anyway, or I'd go to with all my friends like Meyer, like the supermarket at like 3 a.m. because that's one of the few places that kids can go.
And you can get stuff that might be fun.
They won't kick you out.
They've got like a tiny toy and game section.
Yep.
You
can
can
go
get
sit on like the one bicycle, the Huffy that they built in the corner and ride it around.
You can get a candy from the
You
candy
can get one of
aisle.
those tubs of the shittest ice cream in the world for like $1.
You can get frozen pizza to put in the
Oh,
mic.
yeah.
You can get popcorn. You can get a lot of stuff at the supermarket.
and you can just hang out.
Yeah.
Until they kick you out because you're punk kids and they don't want you there.
Yeah.
But, and at RIT, remember we used to have to take the bus to Wegmans?
Well, that's only because you're carrying so many groceries you couldn't walk back with them.
Well, it was a
And
long
it was also
walk.
kind of far, and we didn't have cars yet.
Yeah,
but we
so I'm
eventually
saying
got cars.
we take that one movie mall shuttle. We'd always go. It was like a ritual. Like we'd always go to the Wegmans and we'd buy all our stuff, and then we'd miss the bus because we'd always walk over to one of those other stores because we were waiting for the bus. There was
You
like
go
a
to the
bookstore
Borders,
there.
and then you run back from the Borders.
We'd see the bus like, fuck, my ice cream is melting.
Yep. Anyway.
Those are good times.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to go back to those times.
I kind of almost would, because today.
Well, there are aspects of those times clearly that are wanted, but the time.
Oh, you mean
the
no responsibility, infinite free time?
Right, but the aspect of going to the grocery store on a bus and carrying is not what I want.
But I have the fond memories of that, because we're basically just hanging out. It was basically Geek Nights with 3 additional people for a couple hours, and then we got home with food.
Yeah, but you still don't want to.
And we used to hang out in Borders.
Yeah,
There
because
used to be bookstores.
yeah, they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supermarkets.
Supermarkets is pretty much the only physical store that I still have to go to.
I don't anymore. It's pretty great, actually.
Yeah, I could. I think someone in my building does Fresh Direct, but I'm not home to get it.
Well, you can
so-
schedule it for specific times.
Yeah, but that's it's like, okay, I'll schedule for 10 at night. These guys show up 10 at night with groceries. It's like, great.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that.
Why?
It's not my idea.
Schedule it between, it's 2-hour intervals. Schedule it for 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
They just bring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means I definitely have to be home. I can't make a spontaneous plan.
In fact, if you're home, they take it into your kitchen for you.
Not if I'm home. That's the thing, is I'm almost never home.
You could live in a building with a doorman.
Yeah, I had to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doorman.
But there's going to be a grocery store opening up directly next to my house. You know what I plan to do when that happens? Buy food and then eat it immediately, and then only buy food I'm going to eat
Oh,
that
shit, son.
immediately.
Now, you got to have some emergency food. You need,
Well, I mean, yeah,
one
obviously,
frozen piece of shit.
Well, obviously, I would buy breakfast, right? Because you need to. I'm not gonna wake up, go to out to the store, come back in, and eat the breakfast. But it's like I won't stock up on a whole bunch of dinners. I'll go out, grab the ingredients for the dinner, bring them in, cook them.
One thing I stopped doing that I used to do a lot, and now I kind of do it on Fresh Direct, but not as much, is when you're walking through the vegetable aisle, and I'll see artichokes or something. I'm like, oh man, I should cook that. Oh, and then I make something I never would have made.
No, I do that. I go on internets, I find recipes, and then I buy the ingredients for the recipe that I do not already have.
I don't.
And the
even now, I
non-perishable-
buy stuff and I just cook with that stuff. I just all right, I got scallions, eggs, I'm going to make a frittata.
I'm not, I do not have the skills of just taking random ingredients and cooking.
I'm getting there. I can do that with certain things. I can do that with egg and cheese-based dishes.
Yeah,
So,
I could also do that with egg and cheese based
you make
dishes.
the worst eggs ever. Don't even talk to me about eggs.
But I'm saying is, if I had to, I can combine
Scott,
eggs and
what
cheese.
egg dishes do you like other than McDonald's egg, which is the only egg you ever make?
Egg combined with pepper, onion, cheese, or
So McDonald's omelet.
scallion.
Yeah.
And
Omelet.
or-
So omelet. Do you actually flip the omelet?
Yeah,
Do you?
I need to get an omelet pan to make it easier,
Yeah.
but I do a real shitty job.
You don't make other egg dishes like frittata, eggs over easy, eggs Benedict,
sunny side egg.
a quiche.
I don't like quiche,
Sunny side's the only dangerous one. You shouldn't eat sunny side.
but I like it anyway.
I actually prefer over easy.
I like sunny side egg.
Do a show on eggs.
It's all you.
Yeah. I could talk about eggs for an hour.
They come out of chickens. You open them up. They taste good. Cook them thoroughly so you don't
No,
get salmonella.
the best egg ever is over easy.
French
where it's-
toast
where
is an
the,
egg
the
dish.
yolk is liquid, but the rest of it is not. And you break it in half with toast, and you shove rye toast, and you shove that toast in that egg yolk, and then you eat it.
Girl Scout, where you cut the hole in the middle of in the bread and you put the egg in the middle.
Nah, that doesn't make the same thing.
Nah.
It's got to be fried over easy in an obscene amount of butter.
Yeah,
Like an amount of butter that is ridiculous.
That's another thing about New York grocery stores, right? Is that, not only do you have, since you go less often, you can buy less food at a time, but they also offer smaller items, right? So it's like in the suburbs, they offer bigger ones.
Yep.
I can buy half a dozen eggs. They cut the egg cartons in half and sell you 6 eggs.
Yep, and
you
that's-
can't get that at the big grocery stores. There's also every region of the U.S., and I'm sure other countries as well, have different grocery stores, right? So Wegmans is only available in certain places.
Yeah, though
Stop and Shop is only available in certain places. ShopRite is only in certain
That's what
places.
I was wondered. What the fuck was with the people who went to Tops in Rochester?
I don't know. It was cheaper.
It wasn't cheaper. I went there once.
I never went there. But down south, you can go to Publix or Winn-Dixie, right, in Florida or
Yeah.
Georgia or whatever. And the thing is, each supermarket, while they're mostly the same, each one has, depending on its region and what store it is, has its special things. Like Aldi, the German supermarket place, they sell incredibly cheap computers. They have a thing, and
Yeah.
people line up to buy them.
Meijer?
And Publix in Florida, they make peanut butter in the deli section. You can buy the peanut butter. It's like
Stu
special
Leonard's
peanut
is like
butter.
an institution.
Yeah, well, Stu Leonard's is its own special thing. There's
Yeah.
only 4 of them, I think. Maybe
But
3.
like Myers in Michigan, little weird aside. If you're ever in Michigan or parts of the Midwest, like that part, like the more affluent part of the Midwest, almost any store name, especially if it's like a grocery kind of store, they don't pluralize it, but they add an S on the end because it's usually like it's that person's store, like Kroger's or Myers, because Myers
I'm going to
was founded-
Walmart's,
Yeah.
Kmart's.
Actually, yeah, people often will say things like Kmart's.
Well, I mean, while we don't do that so much in the Northeast, right? For example, there are stores such as JCPenney, and people will say I'm going to Penny's or
Yep.
JCPenney's.
But in the Midwest,
But Macy's has an S at the end of it. So
but in the
that's-
Midwest, just you'll know people from the Midwest because they will say grocery stores instead of grocery
and
store.
Wegmans has an S at the end, and Stu Leonard's does too. But people don't say Stop and Shops; they say Stop and Shop.
Yep.
They
I
don't
just
say
said-
Price Right.
Scott,
they say
I
Price
remembered.
Right.
I remembered an ancient inside joke.
I mean, Shop Right.
I'm gonna go to Wegmans tonight. I really need to get to Wegmans. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, actually, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Anyway. But like Myers in Michigan, like my big grocery store, imagine something like twice as big as one of those stupid Walmarts. They sell fucking everything. It's like a whole grocery store and then also like computer store, car parts.
Yeah, I don't understand people who buy groceries at like say Target. It's like sure they do have a grocery section, but it's like
It's so sad.
do they really have produce? Not
Like at
so
least,
much.
as much as I hate Walmart, super Walmarts have what is a facsimile of a real grocery store in them.
They
But like
do.
Target, the fuck? Like really, what the fuck?
It's like you can buy groceries there, but
really,
really,
really.
really.
Why are you even
I
going
mean,
to Target?
maybe if I was at Target for something else that I couldn't buy on Amazon for some weird reason.
But where is Target? It's always connected to a mall or something.
This Target, it's connected to a mall.
They're all connected to malls.
There aren't really any in the city.
Yeah.
The nearest one, I think, is in like Queens Boulevard, which is way east of here.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anyway.
Target.
Are we done with the show?
I think we're done. What are we gonna say about grocery stores?
We like grocery stores, kind of, but
I miss fucking Wegmans.
yeah, Wegmans is the best, especially two-story Wegmans.
We'll be out of town in like another town. Hello. Actually, we're just about to finish the show. And we'll like think back to Wegmans like, oh man, if we see a Wegmans, like we'll want to go to it like it's an event.
Yep.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.